cool. So I'm filming a bit wacky here because I'm holding the camera and filming Adam, but we're down here at AMR Motorsport headquarters. Very cool place. Where are we, Mornington?
Mornington, yep, Mornington, Victoria.
It's a good spot. I work in Dandenong and it needs to be carpet bombed. No, it's fine. No, this is cool. It's a really cool factory. Really
Bars
cool
on the
spot.
windows.
Oh man,
Yeah.
we literally do.
Yeah, I know.
No, that's cool. So we brought the Nug down to be set up. So I've got the new Super Shocks, we've got the camber washers, all that sort of stuff. I don't know what I'm doing with this. This man knows a thing or two about Bathurst.
Yeah.
So you've been on the podium at Bathurst.
I have, mate, yep.
Yeah,
no,
so
have.
really knows his stuff about the mountain. Whoa, knows his stuff about the mountain and about XLs. And so you've got a championship car here at the moment with Glenn's?
Yeah. So we've in Victoria. Last year we won the Masters Championship here in Victoria, and we also won the National Championship in Queensland. Went up to Queensland and knocked them off. So so we did. Last year was a huge year with the development of the cars and engines and suspension, and but all that was useless without a great driver. So we got Ethan Griggould on board and he's just an absolute weapon, he is. So, we've got great cars and great engines, but you still got to drive it. So.
And Glenn, Glenn's a gentleman of the sport too. I really like Glenn.
Glenn McKenzie has come such a long way since he come here as well.
But he's only started 3 years ago? 2 years ago?
We built his car in, I think, 18 or 19.
Far out. And he's killing it.
And he's come a long way, massive. He's just doing so well, and he'd never driven go-kart or done a track day or anything like that.
Straight up in the car.
Straight up, and I think he was 36th in his first meeting, and then he just chipped away at it. And then last year we went and we won the Masters Championship, and he ended up on the podium again on the weekend. And all the young guys this year, all the younger guys have come up into over 40s.
Yeah.
So and he had a cracking race on Saturday against some of the best at that age group. So he's going great as well.
So I'll be racing against Glenn now because I'm in I'm in the old blokes category. So
old farts.
I mean, I'll just watch him sail off in the distance, but he's gone. But that's cool. Anyway, so we want to set up the car. So Adam's going to show us a few things, not to give away the secrets, but just show there's a lot in this process.
Just the process and how we go about it. And I'll show some little tips and tricks on the way.
Amazing.
Just to make it a little bit easier, and so that when you go out, it doesn't all go and change. So we'll start up by getting the car up on some stands, get the wheels off, and then we'll start doing some ride heights, spring heights. We'll throw some camber washers in.
Sweet.
And we'll show you some tricks on the way.
Ripper.
Awesome.
Let's do it. So Adam's got a little trick for us here. This is something that a lot of people do wrong, hey Adam?
Come a bit closer, I'll show you something. So with these bolts, these two bolts that hold the upright to the shock, there's a lot of play in the holes. They're not a precision drilled sort of component. And as you can see, there's a whole heap of slop, and that's just the bolt. It's just barely tight, like not even. It's actually still quite firm. Yeah. So that slop, if you don't make sure that the bolt is maxed out full camber, as soon as you hit a curb, the front end's going to go out the first session. So what we do is we just put the jack just under the disc, or even under here is fine. And we just compress the shock. So we wait for the shock to start compressing. That's gone up a little bit. So we now know that that's full camber, maximum camber. And then we do the bolt up. It's just little things that make a big difference.
So I'm sure,
do that up, and then that'll never move once you set the toe.
That's great, because I'm sure there's a lot of people who have been through this where they set it all up, go out and track, come back and go, why is my toe so far out? And 100%. I'm probably one of those people, to be honest.
Yeah, especially with these shocks, they've got such big springs.
Yeah.
A lot of load goes through them when we hit a curb. So
that's really interesting.
So it's just a little trick that I learnt the hard way. Couldn't work out why the front end kept going out back in the day. And
there you go.
And since we've done this, never have a problem with the toes.
That's amazing. Oh, well, thank you for sharing that with everyone. I'm sure they really appreciate that, because that's going to catch a lot of people out.
Just little chips.
Yeah, that's great. So Adam's going through and adjusting the ride height and making it all lovely. This is his best Bathurst tune, he said. The best. Guaranteed podium, you reckon? So Adam was just showing me the same thing with the rear, just jack it up just to take that slack out of that upright and tighten it all up. Currently putting in the bushes. These sexy things. SEM Motorsport. So pretty cool. Hopefully that should stop any of this moving in the back when we hit a curb. Try not to hit curbs.
Yeah, no, we're going well. So we've we've done all the spring heights, which will give us our ride heights.
Yep.
Luckily, I know the numbers, so I'll get it pretty close straight away.
Off the top of your head, by the way.
And we've put some camber washers in the back, which I reckon will be pretty close.
Yep.
And so
The front's
now,
easy, hey, because the front's just those slots.
yeah, you can do them. That's pretty easy. So,
Sweet.
so we'll put it on the ground now. Check the rear cameras, make sure the camber washers are correct. And we'll have a quick look at the ride heights. But this kit being brand new, your springs will sag.
Yeah.
So at the ride heights, if you set them right now, after a test day, they'll be under. So we'll just have to let them sag.
After Winton, maybe jack the car up a bit, we'll see. But
Yeah, it'll be pretty close, I think. So,
perfect.
so now we'll just put on the ground, check the cambers, get the cambers right, and then after the cambers, we'll do the toes.
How's the camber? Looking good?
No, camber on the rear is perfect. We nailed that first time. I think it's within 0.02 per side, which is it's not worth pulling all apart to get that 0.02, but that's perfect.
Awesome.
So that'll be good. So now we'll do the front,
Have a look at the front.
and then we can do the toes after that.
Alrighty, Adam's dialed in the camber front and back, which is awesome. Now time to do the toe.
Yeah, so now we've just, so we've done all the cambers, ride heights are done, shocks are set, so now we'll do the toes. First of all, we've got the bars on, we've got the string lines on. We have to get the string line from the center of the hub the same both sides, so it's a perfectly square box around the car. And not until then that's all organised, we can start doing the toes and setting them up. First things first, we do it off the ground. We get the same measurements both sides so we can get the steering wheel straight, perfectly straight. So you don't want to be driving down the straight with the steering on the piss. So we'll do that first, and then once that's right, then we can finish it off and get the toes set for the best performance.
So, toes done.
Yeah, so all the toes are pretty good. As I said to Maddie after a run at Winton, it's all going to probably move a little bit. It's always good after, especially when the shocks are new and the springs are going to sag. When the springs come down, there's a possibility of a small camber change, which will change the toe. So it's probably best we'll give it another spring line before we go to Bathurst. And just make sure it's where it should be. But yeah, it should be pretty close.
Pretty schmick.
But the front shocks will come down a long way. Like the ride height's pretty high at the moment. But the measurements are pretty consistent with what most of our cars that have done plenty of Ks are running. So
that's awesome.
Yep.
Good stuff.
So
it's looking good.
happy days.
Bathurst ready. So there we go, guys. Thanks to Adam at AMR Motorsport for setting up the car. Unfortunately, I did film an outro and we had a chat with Adam about Bathurst and everything, but I forgot I took his mic off. So there was no audio. Good videographer I am. Anyway, in that last little bit, I did ask Adam what advice he had for myself and the rest of the crew that is running at the mountain. Two things. He said, number one, enjoy it, soak it all up. It is one of the greatest places you will ever go and ever be a part of to race there. He said the atmosphere there, it is just buzzing. And he goes, just take a moment to soak it all up. It's incredible.
The second thing he said is respect the mountain. And I've heard this quite a few times from a lot of people. It's not a place to go in gung-ho and be cocky. It's if you stuff around, the mountain will bike back real hard. So very good advice from a man who has driven that place many, many times, been on the podium. He knows a thing or two about the mountain. So anyway, the car is all set up. It's fantastic. And he has set it up for the mountain. So it's a little bit more straight line speed. It's also, he's made it not too snappy. So at places like Winton, a lot of us, well, I know I do, is to get the car to rotate a bit more. You can do a bit of lift off oversteer. So if you sort of lift off, the back will come around and you can power around and drag the car around the corners. It's a good way to get it to turn around. Obviously, coming down through the S's and the dipper, lifting off down there, you don't want the back to come around. Well, I don't. Obviously, someone with more skill could probably manage that. So I did say to Adam, I'd rather it be sort of on the safer side of things. He goes, yeah, let's make it, stable coming down through there. I'd rather the car be predictable and safe than that little bit faster, if that makes sense. So anyway, it was awesome to go down and see Adam's facility. He's got a great workshop down there. He builds some of the fastest cars in Australia. So yeah, look, if you need any help getting into the sport, or you're established and you need your car set up or help with making it faster, go see Adam, and he'll definitely find a few more tenths of a second around any track in Australia. So awesome. So thank you to Adam for setting up the car and also for his time filming. And in the next video, we are going to go shake this car down at Winton. Fingers crossed it all works. All right, thanks for watching, guys. I'll see you in the next one.